Hey guys, welcome to TJ Tells the Truth, Truthful Ministries. How are you guys doing?
Okay, who's with me on this one? All right, who?
Check
Am
this
I
out.
right?
I now have the ability.
In my prediction. Let me know in the comments. I mean, unless you've seen this video already, in which case, I don't
now
know.
have the ability
Don't
to
spoil it for us.
share
but
my screen.
Here we go.
The Bible for just a moment.
So it's pretty cool, guys. It's pretty cool. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing good today. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, how are you all doing? I'm TJ from TJ Tells the Truth, Truthful Ministries. Hope you all are doing well today. We are just getting into the topic of depression and all that sort of stuff. So, we will be starting that relatively soon. I hope y'all are doing great today. Talk to me in the chat. Let me know how everything's going. Love you all. There we go. So I'm gonna get into a testimony and a story about what my life was like living with depression. So depression is something that many people battle, and it's something that a lot of people battle every single day. Hey, welcome to the stream. If you're new here, I'm TJ from TJ Tells the Truth, Truthful Ministries. Hope you all are doing well. I'm talking about depression and how to overcome it and my experience with it. Yo, good to see you, Michael. Absolutely, brother. 100%. Great to see you. So, my life, I battled depression for a very long time before I even knew what depression was. And many people, when they experience depression, they are unsure of how to deal with it. They are unsure of how to overcome. Depression feels like a trap. It feels like something that you just can't stop, that you just can't get out of, that it just completely overtakes you. And then your whole life just ends up becoming this repeat cycle of something, usually, right? For instance, myself, that went from when I was a kid to repeating the life of, okay, wake up, play video games before school, go to school. If it was something I was interested in, like a subject like science or something, well, then it had my attention. And then for a moment, hold on, I'm going to open up my door. Sorry, get some fresh air. It's hot, guys. It's really hot. I don't know why. But hey, guys, welcome. If you're new here, I'm TJ. TJ Tells the Truth, Truthful Ministries. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. Just talking about the depression and how to overcome the battle. So with depression, it's this battle you have to fight every single day. And many people are not going to. I appreciate you, Truth. That's what's up. Yeah, it's cool that I could do the share the screen stuff now. So now when I see stuff, you know what I mean, like updates on a hurricane or like world events or whatever, prophecies, whatever that come true, at least I can display them here now. So that's cool. I'm going to be editing my videos again, my prophecies and stuff. So what I'll probably do is I'll pre-record the prophecy video, and then what I'll do is I'll launch it live on the stream. But I'll talk into that about another day. All right. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Love to see you here, Truth Teller Michael. So depression is something that many people battle, right? And people battle it in varying degrees and levels. So, for instance, for me, my depression was severe, so severe that I just spent my entire life just wasted. I wasted. But the thing is, when you find God and you find Christ and you overcome that depression, right? That depression's no longer wasted. That depression has made you stronger. It has forged you through the fire. And then you no longer feel as lost as you once did. Because as humans, we are all looking for purpose, right? Even as a little kid, I struggled with this, right? I didn't understand the meaning of life, right? So when I was like 12 years old, and I don't know if you guys had a similar experience, but when I was 12 years old, this is when my depression started. I realized that certain things like what's up, Justin? How you doing, brother? I realized that certain things like video games and stuff was no longer enough anymore. There was moments where my head was caught up with my own thoughts, and those thoughts were no good. Those thoughts were thoughts that divided, destroyed. There were thoughts that kept me from progressing as a person and as a human, right? And our modern society wants you that way. They want you on antidepressants. They want you on antipsychotics. They want you believing that your mental illness is something that will always control you and something that you will never overcome. But I promise you that you can. And I did it through God. But so the depression that you battle every single day, it gets real, right? And it was real for me even at 12 years old. So I started to realize that certain things were no longer making me happy, right? Because when you're a child, when you're a kid, playing a video game that's new that just came out can make you happy. Going to the park and playing, I don't know, football, you know what I mean, will make you happy. But once you start growing up, once you start maturing, those things, they just start to become known for what they really are, distractions, right? And that's why we start to wake up as we get older. That depression that we have, it either becomes a part of us or, we overcome it. And even then, it's still becoming a part of you because it's part of what builds you stronger. Yeah, Justin, good to see you here, buddy. I love you, brother. That's when life started rolling downhill for me. Yeah, exactly, dude. And then a lot of kids at that age, right? They end up getting family problems and this and that. And that's when I started getting it as well. My mom started getting wasted. She started getting drunk. She used to kick in my door every single day and tell me what a worthless piece of crap I was. Like literally every day, just drunk as hell, just taking out all her life's problems on me. As if I didn't have enough bad thoughts of my own, right? I was listening to Nirvana and Linkin Park and like all these different bands, you know what I mean? That sort of glorified depression. And I would listen to these songs as if it was my anthem of suffering. Like that song Numb, I would be listening to that song Numb on like repeat almost by Linkin Park. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. I've become so tired, so much more aware. And it's like you start to become, those lyrics are so deep because it's like you start to become aware of that suffering as you go through it. And then it's like you're in this dark tunnel that you're in, but you can't get out of. No, this 200, yeah, that's wild, dude. That's insane. Tornadoes, not hurricanes. You want to know why? The stuff, the seed. All right, so listen, guys, real quick. They are doing these chemtrails and stuff in the sky. And I don't know if you guys have been looking up at the sky lately, but even the past couple days, I've been seeing many tornadoes up in the air. Mini tornadoes, and I feel like it's just because of the remnants of the stuff that's coming down from the chemtrails. But yeah, no, that's crazy, Justin. Damn, dude, that's wild. So Kurt Cobain, you know, he had this song called Heart Shaped Box. And the thing is, like, that was an anthem for me as well. Because just like my last testimony I gave, that was my escape. One of my escapes was woman. One of my escapes was sex. One of my escapes was drugs. You see a pattern. One of my escapes was video games. You see this pattern of me constantly picking up these different things, just trying to avoid the way I was feeling. You know, I think part of the reason I had so many hobbies was was not just because I was interested in many different things, but because I was looking for many different things to distract me so I could not think about the pain and the suffering that I was going through. Because when I was like learning drums for instance, right? Um, that gave me a place to focus. But it's in between the notes on the drum. It's in between the track changes. The silence between the songs, when it's just you and your own thoughts that drive you insane. Even at 13 years old, I was having an existential crisis. Sam says Biden made official announcement that the government isn't controlling. Yeah, so that just makes it that just makes it so much more obvious. Dude, you know what would have made it even if they would have said, listen, people can control the weather. We're admitting that. But guys, we are trying to win this election this year. You think we're going to try to cause a bunch of devastation and destruction? You know what I mean? If they would have played it off a little bit differently, right? Because that's sort of like when you catch a girl cheating on you, and you're like, you definitely cheated on me, right? And then they're like, no, no way, no way, I never would cheat on you, I love you so much. And that guy, that Irish guy, he's so ugly, he's totally not my type, with his red beard and his red hair and all this other stuff and his six-pack abs, he's totally not my type. That's the same thing the government's doing. It's just a bold-faced lie that they're just trying to convince themselves of. I'd rather have honesty in my government. But that's an issue that we face today. So when we are going through this suffering, we need someone to get us out. And I was in that suffering, that dark depression for so long that I just felt trapped. I didn't know any other way of life. So I just spent every single moment of my life escaping through video games, through porn, and I'm telling you the progression. So at 5 years old, my coping mechanism was video games. By 9 years old, my coping mechanism was video games and porn. By the age of 13, 14, my coping mechanism was video games, porn, and woman. And then my coping mechanism escalated to drugs. You see, I thought I was in a bad depression before, and I was a teenager, and I was suffering, right? Um, so I remember even when I had my first girlfriend, I was 14 years old. Everything was good. You know, I lost my virginity to her. Uh, she essentially lost hers to mine because the other guy that she did stuff with forced it on her. So I don't want to get into that. But yeah. Anyways, I thought I was gonna marry her. This is a woman that I knew, from a couple of years before, because my best friend at the time had a sister, and his sister had a crush on me, but also his sister's friend. And then I remember swimming in the pool with her and this and that. And I remember I had like this giant, like unclipped big toenail, just because I was just like, I think the clippers are broken or something. We were like in the middle of getting nail clippers. But anyway, I remember scratching like her leg with my big ass toe. And it's like, dude, that's like so embarrassing. But I still was able to get a kiss and everything else later that day. So then we ended up exchanging numbers. I ended up dating her. Um, Sam says, "Can't you see that you're smothering tightly, holding too tight?" Yes, yes. "Numb" is an amazing song, and that's the thing, dude. Is that can apply to so many different things. You can apply it to a toxic relationship. You can apply it to like a relationship with like a parent that's like overbearing. There's many different ways. Michael Jansen says, "My vote is on Christ. No person on this earth will ever get to vote again. All corrupt." Exactly. Yo, what's good, Angelo? Good to see you there. How you doing? Anunnaki, hi. What's up, Texas? Always good from the Texas. We say hello. Yo, Michael Janssen from the Netherlands. Yeah, we love the Netherlands up here. We got a guy that comes on stream. His name is Kurt, and he's from the Netherlands. He comes up on here all the time. So we'd love to have you here. Absolutely, guys. Here, let me fix the lighting real quick. Um, hold up, guys. Sorry. There, that's better. That should be better. But yeah, so depression will get you stuck in a spiral that you just can't seem to get out of. And you don't want to be feeling like there's no hope. And that is something I felt for my entire life was no hope. I mean, I was the age of 5 and they had to put me in self-esteem classes because I hated myself so much. Like, what 5, 6 year old, you know what I mean, doesn't get to go to recess and he has to go into self esteem classes, right? There's something wrong. And it's like, so I battled depression that I just could never get out of. My mindset was, I'm going to suffer for the rest of my life until I die. And I was just set on that, right? Um, I wasn't gonna think that I can overcome, that I would be able to um get over this someday, that I wouldn't have to live in the misery that I was living in all the time. But the truth is, there's only one person that can pull you out of that, and that's Jesus Christ. And you might laugh or leave the stream or whatever you might say, but it's the truth. Because these thoughts in my head constantly telling me to delete myself, constantly telling me to that I'm not good enough, that I'm not enough, that I'm not worth loving, that I have no reason to be alive. And those were constant thoughts that I've been having circulate my head since the age of 5 years old. And then when you have your mom at the age of 13, and she was drunk and she went through trauma in life, and she just recently lost a cleaning business at this time that she built up from the ground, up until a 6-figure company with a great reputation. And I understand she lost everything, she got in car accidents, and then she was hurt, and she was in her own depression. So this is something I'm going to tell you, and it holds true no matter what. Hurt people will hurt people. So when people are hurting, they will go and they will hurt others. That's a fact. If somebody is hurting, they will either hurt others or they will hurt themselves. And I was in this constant cycle of just hurting myself. I wasn't one to necessarily hurt others, but I hurt myself a lot. What's up, Truth? How you doing? Good to see you, Adam. Always, brother. Always. But that's the thing, right? We can't allow depression to kill us, because depression is like this, right? Depression's like a gravekeeper with a shovel. And he tells you, here's the shovel, dig your hole. And you just start digging, right? And you can leave at any time. But the issue is, when you leave on your own, you always end up back in that ditch, digging that hole. It didn't matter what it was. Everything that I was going through was a temporary fix. So if I was in a depressive rut where I was just constantly down, and I'll tell you, I'll describe exactly what my life looked like since the age of a young teenager onwards. So I would literally just have a girlfriend, things would be great. I wouldn't be depressed. I would put all my happiness, all my reliance of my life, and all my faith and time into them. I literally made them my gods. I literally essentially worshipped these women, spent all day making love to them, everything else, right? But those same people that would make me happy would also be the same ones that caused my downfall. And hi, if you guys are new here, welcome. I'm TJ from TJ Tells the Truth. I give testimonies, and I like to help others that are lost and bring them to the truth and to the light. So come on, welcome. Enjoy the stream. We are very friendly around here. We are family, so stick around. So the depression, you know, that hole, it starts to get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And that's why it's important when you feel yourself slipping that you catch yourself out of the rut. Because if you allow that depressive rut to be the thing that drags you uh into darkness, well then you're going to be in darkness for a while. And then I started noticing these cycles that I was going through. I would go through these time periods that are very short lived of me feeling like I'm up, and then a lot of downhill, right? It was a roller coaster. My life was a constant roller coaster that was going up and down. And I just didn't feel hope. I didn't feel as though there was a way out. I felt so trapped. Every day was the same. There's a song by 9 Inch Nails, and I actually used to cry to it. And this was actually recent. You know, this is probably 6 months ago. I'd play that song every day is exactly the same while I cry because I'm all alone by myself with no kids, no children, like no wife, no purpose. It was just every day I woke up and I lived for myself. And there's no value in that, right? When you live only for yourself, you end up being caught in a cycle where you'll never be happy. Because those things that do bring you joy will only bring you joy for a short while. And everything else will just bring misery. So, struggling with depression and wanting to just give up because life is too hard, because I couldn't figure out, a path that was going to be productive to me. It's really difficult to go through this, to go through life, just feeling as though like you have no hope, feeling as though that there is no way out. But I would literally cry. I would binge watch TV shows, the same shows over and over again. I'd watch Supernatural. I'd watch funny comedy shows or whatever else like that, right? And it was all meaningless. It was all just me going from one second to the next, just white knuckling it through life, just trying to um, go on and make it through. And it just wasn't happening. Uh, amen. I have dealt with it before, only 1 year though. Jay Truth Teller, God bless you for overcoming. Michael Janssen says, 1 Peter 5:8. Yes, that's actually a good verse. Let me look that up. Because I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't remember it by be sober minded, be watchful, because your adversary, the devil, prowls around you like a like a roaring lion and seeking someone to devour. And that's exactly what it is, right? Is there's all these things around you that are just waiting to grab a hold of you, suck you up, and destroy you. And I'm gonna try to walk in a way that the Lord wants me to, because it's it's kind of obvious. I feel like God's trying to tell me something, that maybe I'm just supposed to move on to the next chapter. And I really do hope. I really do hope that these testimonial videos about my past really help people. I do have people that are like, like my buddy Josh, he says, that I should talk about these things because it's important to bring people that are lost to Christ. Hey, what's up, loving spirit? How you doing, brother? I love you. And yes, Michael Janssen, the adversary is always lurking for an opening. He's always waiting to strike. And that's why we need to be vigilant, sober minded, and watchful 100%. Um, so that darkness that I lived in, right? It's like even when I was thinking that I was happy, it wasn't happiness, it was euphoria, it was pleasure, it was escapism. It wasn't actually, true happiness, because true happiness will bring you purpose, it will bring you peace, and it will bring you prosperity. And it's not prosperity in the way that preachers preach. It's not about getting rich. It's about feeling as though you have love around you from your God, from your family, from the people that you put your faith in and you trust, right? But the only person that you can put your 100% faith into is God, and He's the only one that will ever get you out. And I promise that. Everything else will fail you. You can have a support system, you can have people there, and to be honest, God uses people. He uses people to help them bring them out of depression, because sometimes it does take a physical hand. Sometimes it does take someone to just grab you and pull you out of that dark pit of despair, because you are just suffering so badly. I used to contemplate so many different ways of how I would kill myself. I would delete myself, I mean. And a lot of the time, it was fantasizing. And I would just be sitting there fantasizing about all the different ways that I could die. And that's sick. And you're talking about a 12-year-old kid that was feeling this way. There's something really wrong when you have a 12-year-old kid who literally wants to delete himself. And I was battling demons that I didn't even realize I was battling. I didn't know that the depression that I was fighting and I was facing was something that was going to be, pivotal in my life story. That it was going to be, the one of the thorns in my side that get me to become stronger. Because the depression, it could do one or two things. It could break you or it can build you. Because out of the depression, right? There always comes a mountain, a rise. You climb out of that dark hole of despair that you were in. And it's like, I just remember crying into my pillow day in, day out, eating ice cream. I sound like a woman. No, not trying to be a misogynist, but yeah, you know, and I would just be white knuckling it through life, one moment through the next, right? My suffering was so bad that I did not want to live anymore. And I didn't see hope. I didn't know what hope was. I didn't even know that hope could exist. Because through my life at that point in time, the only thing that life had taught me was that it was ruthful, that it was uncaring, and that it was out to destroy me. But there's beauty in life too. There's light where there is no darkness. And when I found that light and I got out of that dark tunnel that I was living in, right? After multiple attempts on my life, multiple years of just wasting away in a room. When I was younger, up until about the age of like 28, I would say that I just got high, sat in a room all day, depressed, crying, or just numb, just completely numb. Numb by using drugs, numb by uh just trying to dull the pain with anything I could find, whether it was woman, drugs, or sometimes my escape mechanism, it used to be playing music, and that was probably the healthiest coping mechanism I had at that time, was that I would play my drum kit. I had a bad day, I'd be going through a hard time, and I would just start banging out in a drum kit. And I remember crying. I remember sitting there crying and my tears are dropping onto my snare drum as I'm playing. And I'm calling out to God with my heart without even realizing it in that darkness, in that moment. As humans, we are programmed to seek the light. We are like moths. We are like moths to God, right? We are drawn to his greatness. We are drawn to his light. But the thing is, we have been convinced that that light no longer exists and that that light is truly a bug zapper and that it's going to kill you. But I have come to tell you the opposite, that every sort of thing in this world that exists right now that's telling you, hey, I'll make you happy, hey, I'll give you exactly what you want and what you need, that is the bug zapper, right? The bug zapper is believing that you could live for yourself and be happy. This is why people have families. This is why people have children. They have kids. And I would laugh at people that say, "Oh, we need a baby to make me happy." And it's like, listen, if you need a baby to make you happy, that's a pretty sad thing, right? But there might be some people that have absolutely zero love in their life. And because they have that baby, it has saved their life. So it really depends on who you are. Guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to use the bathroom. So be right back. Um, yeah, be right back, guys. All right. I will be right back. Uh, hello, hello, hello. Sorry. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm TJ from TJ Tells the Truth, Truthful Ministries. If you're new here, uh, how you doing? I'm just talking about depression and how it can get you trapped and feeling as though there's no hope. So, it's kind of funny that I had this like deep depression at the age of like 13, right? It's like, what problems does a 13-year-old have? You know? And it's like, I had friends, I had tons of friends, but I felt so alone. I had felt like there was not a single person that understood the pain that I was going through, the suffering that I was going through, that they didn't understand, my struggles and what I was feeling. And I just felt alone, right? So what I would do is I was popular, right? I was funny. I would make people laugh, I would have a good time. And but on the inside, I was really hurting. On the inside, I was completely numb. On the inside, I was really lonely. And I just put on this mask to the outside world and I pretended like I was okay. But I wasn't. I wasn't okay at all. And I didn't even feel like I had a single person that I could say that to until I met my friend Sarah. God rest her soul. So when I met Sarah, my best friend in the entire world for life, and I'll still say that. Um, she was the only person that I met, you know, up until that point that truly cared about me. That wasn't like a family member. She truly loved me. She truly cared about my well-being, and she was there. I called her my rainy day friend because unlike other friends that were there when things were good, she was there when things were bad. She was there to support me and give me love when I needed it most. And that's real friendship. And the thing is, when life was good, she didn't come around as much because she didn't need to. And the same thing with her life. When her life was going well, she didn't need me as much because when she was going through a hard time and some guy was an asshole or whatever, this and that, I was there for her too. You know, I called her my sister. I mean, I slept with her twice before. Once when she was married to a guy that was gay and he wasn't giving her any, and like No wonder why I'm cursed, Lord. I slept with how many people's wives? But yeah, um, yeah, So, but what's up, Shaden? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Truth Teller and Loving Spirit? Sleepy wanting to do a live with you guys. So, oh, hey, you could hop on a live. I'll start an apostle podcast if you want, dude. Um, so let me know when you're ready, Loving Spirit, and then we'll do a podcast together. Okay. So, any questions in the audience? Because the whole purpose of this is to try to bring people closer to Christ. So I'm gonna wrap this message up. So I lived in constant depression. I would literally have like an 8 month straight depression. Literally every single day, just waking up, sleeping all day, watching TV, eating ice cream, eating cereal, going to bed, and waking up and doing it the next day. Just every time I go to the bathroom, I see my reflection in the mirror. I would tell myself how much I hate myself. I would I would literally immediately begin weeping, right? I would be weeping, into my own food. I'd be like crying into my like cereal bowl. And it was like it was insane, right? It's like that's not a way for anybody to want to live. I was in complete bondage. I was completely controlled by my emotions, by my mental illness. Oh, you say you're ready like yesterday? That's what's up. So I'm gonna say this one last thing, guys, and I'm gonna restart. So don't go anywhere. Um, so I was in that dark pit of despair, right? Where I was reaching out for everything and anybody to help. And even when people had good intentions to help, right? It was never enough. Even when um even when I felt like I had it all, like I had a girlfriend, I had a job or a purpose or whatever it might be, it was never enough. You know, and nothing will ever be enough to make you not feel like your life is meaningless, hopeless and depressed and just without purpose. More than being without God and living in depression. Because depression is a demon that doesn't leave. It doesn't leave until you allow the Holy Spirit inside of you. Until you allow Jesus Christ to deliver you from that suffering, that pain, and that sin of being alone and the stuff that revolves around it, right? Because when you're alone, being alone isn't necessarily a sin, but it makes you vulnerable to sin, right? It makes you ready to sin. It makes you ready to just separate yourself from God because that's what the enemy comes to do. He comes to divide, kill, and destroy. And what he wants to do is he wants to take you away from your Lord by keeping you miserable because it's hard to feel God's presence when you're in constant suffering. So I'm going to tell you this: there is hope to overcome that depression, there is hope to overcome that pain in your life. But you can only get that hope from one place, and that place is Jesus Christ.